All right, so today I want to discuss the basics of formatting in the American Psychological Association format, otherwise known as APA. So I'm going to cover some of the formatting basics, starting with a book with one author, a magazine article, and a book with multiple authors. Since APA format is based off the author date style. That's sort of our platform citation style, which is, you have the author's last name and the year. So to begin that, you need to be in Microsoft Word, or you can use Google Docs for this. For this video, I'll be using Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office 2013. But the to do it in Microsoft Word, it doesn't matter what version you have it. It's all pretty much going to be the same. You open up a new document, and you should have a running head already because the references page is your last page, and you should have the word references centered at the top. So everything's good to go. You just need to have your citations and begin citing them. But the one question I always receive from students is, well, how do I cite whatever, whether it's a book or a website or something like that? I'll do a entire video on websites later, but for now, let's start with the basics, and that's a book with one author. So the book I'll be using for my citation is The Returned by Jason Mott. Uh, so let's begin. To begin, I have to start typing. So um, so as you can see from here, a book with one author is quite simple. All you have is the last name, first initial of the author, or initials if they have more than one. The year the book was published, usually you find this on the copyright date. Um, the title of the book, italicized. Notice how APA uses sentence style capitalization. So only the first word of the title is capitalized, and any proper nouns are capitalized. And then you have the city and state, or city and country. In this case, it's Ontario, Canada. And then you have the publisher, which is Harlequin Mira. Mira is like a business name. It's kind of like incorporated or publishers. You drop any of the publishing or publisher or corporation style names in APA, so you would just have Harlequin on there. Um, Pretty simple, right? So let's move on to more than one author. So with more than one author, things get a little bit more complicated. You still follow this same base structure with last name, first initial, year, title, place of publication, and then publisher. You always retain the base in APA using that author date style as your guide. So in this case, I'm using The Adult Learner, the definitive classic in adult education and human resource development, by Malcolm Knowles, Elwood Holton, and Richard Swanson. So one of the things I'm asked when citing something with multiple authors, do I put the authors in alphabetical order? That's a great question. No, you put the authors in the order that they're listed on the cover of the book. And if they have, like in Holton's case here, he's Elwood F. Holton the third. Don't worry about suffixes, just omit them. All right, so with this, you can see that APA uses sentence style capitalization. You can consider a colon a period, so the subtitle is a new sentence, and so the first word in the subtitle would be capitalized. For that, this book, The Adult Learner, is in its 6th edition, so you would need to put that after the title. One of the things um, with APA, and the same could be said for MLA as well, is that APA uses hanging indent. So what I like to do when I have a huge list of references is well, finish the list, get them all grouped together, and then you highlight them like so, and you right click and you find paragraph, and then you go up here to where it says special, and then you click on the hanging part, and that gets you your hanging indent. The other thing about APA references is they need to be in alphabetical order. What I used to do is sort of order them or pre-order them in another document and then copy and paste them in order that way. I see that's kind of tedious. I discovered a quicker way to do it is to highlight, just type the references as I get them or in any order I want to, and then highlight them all, and then go up here to this sort button and click it, and then that will fix everything. That will put them in alphabetical order. Well, you're saying by now, probably, I hope you're saying, books are easy. All you do is follow that basic formula of last name, first initial, year, title, italicized, place of publication, and publisher. And then you just add information, like, for instance, if it's another edition of the book, you add the edition after the title. If it has an editor, you put the editor over here. Uh, Maybe next I'll do a one with an editor. But uh, you're probably asking, what about magazines or journal articles or something of that sort? Or is that a little bit different than a book? Well, kind of, sort of. With a magazine, you're not citing the entire magazine. You're only citing an article from it. And you can handle magazines a little bit different. The formula is still the same. You have author last name, author first initial, or authors if it's more than one. And with some of those academic journals, you have a whole list of authors, up to there could be 20 authors on it, depending on what the study was done. And then you have, depending on what type of magazine or journal it is. If it's a monthly journal, then you need to include some extra information and not just the year. The magazine I'm going to show you is Harper's. So Harper's is a monthly, so you would include the year and the month um, with the citation. So for the magazine, I am choosing the story Late by Stephen Millhauser. It's in the October 2015 issue of Harper's Magazine. So you would start just like any citation. You start with the last name, and use the first initial. But the difference between a book and a magazine is I need to have the month in there. So you have the year and then the month. If this was a weekly magazine like the New Yorker or Time or Newsweek, then I would include the date right here. But since it's a monthly magazine, all I need is the month. Now in text, I don't need the month. I just need the year. But this is not in text. This is a references citation. So I need the title, and the title is not italicized because it's an article. But titles always use sentence style capitalization. Now, instead of putting a place of publication or a publisher, I just put the name of the magazine. So I can use Harper's there. And then this is where it gets weird and differentiates from books. I need the volume number and the issue number. Books don't have those. So, and you can find those on the masthead of the magazine. And for this case, in the October 2015 issue of Harper's, it's volume, that's what I meant, volume number, not issue number. Anyway, volume 331, issue number 1985. So volume is italicized and goes before the issue number, and then nothing else is italicized. Issue number goes inside parentheses next to the volume number, and then you have a comma, and then you need the page numbers that the article or story or whatever it was that you're citing appeared on, and that's pages 69 through 72, so just 69-72, and then a period, and then you're done, and that's how you cite a magazine. Now, sometimes you're not going to have a magazine on your bookshelf like me. All these sources here I took from my own personal collection. When you're writing your paper or conducting research, you're more than likely going to be on something like this. This is EBSCOhost. And I took the liberty of researching capital punishment for you. And as you can see, I've got 31,000 hits. That's a lot to go through. And I'm going to show you how to reduce that and also how to cite these articles here. So over here on the left menu, if you're on EBSCOhost or JSTOR or Project Muse or something like that, there's going to be a sort of left menu or some type of menu where you can reduce the amount of search results. You can also do it up here using terms like and, or not to reduce it. But the fastest way to reduce it is, of course, I want ones that are from peer-reviewed or scholarly journals. So if I click that, it'll reduce it down from 31,000 to almost 4,000. If I do the ones with references available, it knocks it down to 473. So that's a little bit more manageable than, say, 31,000. There's also this publication date. I don't want ones from 1939. I want something from maybe like the last, 5-10 years. Let's just do the last 10 years and see what happens. That knocks it down to almost half of what I have, or it knocks it down by 200. If I did the last 5 years, it knocks it down even further. So those are some ways to sort of reduce the search load, so you don't have to, comb through 30,000 articles. That they might work. You don't really need 30,000. Most professors or most classes only ask you to get a sort of a handful of sources. The other thing you can do is you can limit this way. I only want academic journals. There's 132 of those. And then also by using your sort of Boolean search words here, and, or not, in all caps. But the other thing is, okay, so I'm going through these 135 articles. The first one here, tinkering with the machinery of death, the body as gauge, and discourses about capital punishment. That I need that article. So you would go into this one, you click on it, and as you can see, there's multiple information here. There's an abstract here. You can read that abstract, and that will give you a better idea if that article works for your research or not. You can get the PDF full text. You can find it in the WorldCat, which is in libraries worldwide. But the one key feature, this is a lot of information to take in. I mean, you've got all the information here that you need in order to cite this article. The key thing, though, is use this cite button, and that will bring you the citation you need. I'm running out of time, so thank you.